Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Are you ready for your questions?
Yes.
Okay, so who are you?
My name is Konrad, and I'm Konrad.
Okay, where are you from?
From Poland, from Warsaw.
What is your major?
Directing.
Uh-huh. What year are you?
I'm in the first year, but my film studio is only 1 year, so I'm in my first and final year.
Okay. Where are we now?
Nearby my school, in a wonderful and beautiful area of Rome in the Stature.
Okay. Why did you choose Rome International Film School?
I choose Reeves because of its practical aspect. I actually think that these are like 3 years squeezed into one, because every student gets an opportunity to write, produce and direct his or her own 2 movies, as well as collaborating on other 10 student films in just 1 year. So
okay, yeah, that's cool. Is there any specific reason you chose Rome, Italy?
There are many reasons, and this is the story that would take 5 minutes, and I assume this video is already 20 minutes long, so I need to skip on that.
Okay. What subjects, lectures do you have at Rome International Film School?
We have subjects from all areas of film, starting from sounds, screenwriting, editing and directing, ending on cinematography and acting for directors. This is actually the nice thing about the program, that you get a little touch of everything, so as a hopefully future director, you know what happens on set.
How do you prepare for your classes?
We don't get a lot of homework, we rarely get any homework. It's usually some practical exercises, for example, classes that we had and we needed to just go around and, for example, do photos with a theme of Be Here Now. And yeah, this was one of the homeworks. We usually get homeworks in the periods where we write our own films, so you need to deliver first draft after another draft, so usually we don't get homework, but in some periods we get a lot of homework.
Okay. In what language are your classes taught?
In English.
3 words to describe your program.
Intense, for sure short, and I would say that a great third word, just wait for the plane to pass, is informal, because all of our teachers are sort of our friends.
Okay. How would you rate your school spirit on a scale of 1 to 10?
Spirit, I would say that, oh my god, I mean, to all of the students, we are sometimes so bored and so not excited, so I would rate our school spirit as 3 or 4.
Okay. What do you think got you into Rome International Film School? How does the application process work?
The application process works very simple. You send your application to the school, then you get the interview with the school's director, and I would say that most of the passionate people who wanted to somehow do films this year got into the school. So I would say that if you're passionate and want to start your career and start maybe test out if the film is for you, it might be a great take for someone like you.
What is your normal day like?
I wake up pretty late because I live 7-minute walk from the school. In rush, I just got my clothes on and rush to the school. Then I have my lectures there. When I come back, I'm usually working. Sometimes get some time to relax or write some script, work on my script. Right now, it's usually working after the school.
What about other students? Do you get along?
I would say so. We are a pretty small group. Besides me, we only have 7 students. So we are a minor, small group of 8 students, and everyone is in their 20s. I would say that's a really nice aspect of our school and the group that we created, that no one is sort of like outside of the group, not invited. We only have one group for the students that we have, and everyone is sort of invited in every meeting, whether in some restaurant, bar, or sometimes in my house, because I live close by to the school. So yeah, this is a really nice thing, and I would say we get along pretty well.
Okay. So, do your professors support you? Are they available, open, or willing to help?
Yeah, I would say that it's a really nice thing about our school, that we have this individual approach, and because of our small group, because I understand this approach is not possible at universities where you have like 500 students in a class, and in most cases professor doesn't even know your name. So I would say, yeah, we get a lot of support. Besides classes, we have also consultations. For example, in this period right now, when we are editing our second film, today we had a consultation with director and Chiara, the editing teacher, who are at the school, like advising students on their rough cuts or the scenes they made. And also, it's a real nice thing to have the contact because we have a phone number to every teacher, and we can call them anytime we want to ask for the advice. For example, in the development process of the script, when I have the idea at like 9 p.m. I call Steven, ask him, hey Steven, I have this idea, what do you think? Or for example, I was going at the second day of my shoot, I had this idea in a car and I just called Steven and talked to him about that. So that's also nice that teachers are not only from this time to this time, but they're also available, and you feel that they're available outside of the class and you can call them and write them anytime.
Yeah. Okay, is directing your greatest passion?
I would say so, and I especially felt that during the shoot of my second film. It takes a lot and it's really hard, but it's really hard to pull it off all together. But it's definitely worth it, and the feeling you have on the set when you see that it's never 100%, but when you see like 90% of your vision is on the screen, it's a wonderful feeling then that you can actually bring emotions and actually show what you had in your head to other people and make them feel the same feelings that you wanted them to feel. I don't know if that's a great way to say that, but yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, so what is the process of making a movie?
So it depends if we are talking about the short movies that we are making as students or about feature films that we are making as professionals with big studios and big money. But basically you start, for example, when we are talking about the script, it's the base of the whole film. In our school we start actually with discussing the ideas, and it is usually how you start in professional world. If you don't have the script, you pitch ideas to people who can actually give you money to maybe write a script and support you in this way. But it's of course the best if you have the script ready, if you are meeting with somebody. But it starts with just discussing the idea. This is what we are doing with teachers. We are discussing our ideas, dedicate couple lessons, like 3 hours of lessons, to just discuss and pitch the idea. And we are working on this material that is just like one sentence, sometimes a bit more, but this is what everyone wants you to do. They're asking, what is your film about? And they're not expecting like 20 minutes of monologue, they're expecting one sentence about your film. So that's where we are starting. Then we are writing the script, and of course the production, the pre-production aspect, then directing on set, and then the editing part. In a nutshell, it's of course much more, but in a nutshell, that's it.
Sure. So what's the hardest part?
I would say to get it all together. Actually, if you are well prepared, directing is still stressing. It's you sometimes need to find this calmness inside you to be able to be focused. It's really about being focused on set. At least in my opinion, for now, it's about doing your best and being in the moment, being able to see every little emotion, every little aspect on the screen, in the actor's face. And the hardest part is to pull it all together, because directing is just a piece of it. Like being on set, on feature film, you're filming for 40 days. There are months, sometimes years before that, organizing every little detail, thinking of every little thing. And it's like many people are involved from the production aspect, from screenwriting aspect. And it's hard to actually move yourself from the time, okay, I have the idea, to the time of being on set. This is the hardest part, this period, which is actually the longest period. So I would say this is the hardest part.
Okay. So how long does it take to write a script?
It also depends on the person, circumstances, and whether your script is a feature film, TV series, or a short film. So if you're writing a short film, which will be about 10 minutes, it's, let's say, like 1 minute per page. It's approximate that we do in film industry. You actually write a script that is 10 pages, and sometimes you can have one night and you think like, okay, I got this idea, and you just have the scenes in your head, just write it down for 4 hours, and you have the first draft of your script that's later gonna develop, a lot of details are gonna be added, and it's just the start. But it depends on the circumstances, because for example for the feature film they're usually written by the screenwriter for like 6 or 12 months, so it depends on the length and depends on the type of the person, because some people prefer to sit 1 hour on everyday basis and try to force it out of themselves, but actually it is a creative process and you need to find this space in your life to be able to think creatively, to actually be able to put this time into a creative process of screenwriting. But sometimes it just comes to you and sometimes you need to wait for it, sometimes you need to create it by doing something and sort of like boosting this creativity and making it flow. So it depends on the person, but you can write it in 1 day, couple days, couple weeks, or even a year. For a short film, it's we developed our scripts for around month and a half, 2 months, so that was it, for like around 10-15 pages.
Okay. What's the craziest thing that happens to you while making a movie?
There are for sure the magic moments on sets that you don't expect and you don't see in your imagination. It's the material that you give to actors, and something happens on set, and these are the most magical moments that you're here for. Sometimes you're just shooting, and of course you're really focused, and you need to do the best that you want, and to be able to put it on screen later. But sometimes there are moments that you don't expect, and they are the most beautiful moments. But the thing that happened to me, that was the craziest thing, is that I actually lost it on the 4th day on my shooting, and I screamed like crazy because I couldn't handle my emotions. But it happens in the film industry. It's nice to be calm, focused, but sometimes you just lose it. So it was the craziest thing that happened in front of everyone. I screamed like crazy. But yeah, it's sort of like I need to accept it. It was really, high emotion period in that moment, and I just lost it. So that was the craziest moment on my set.
Okay. What is it like to see your thoughts on the screen?
That's a really wonderful feeling, and to think that it's not only that you're gonna see your thoughts on the screen, but actually you're gonna die and someone might watch your film, and it's just you're like leaving something here that might be eternal. That's actually a really powerful thought. And yeah, people think that you can always put your thoughts on the screen. It's usually not possible. I mean, we say that in the film industry, that you create film you're actually creating film 3 times. First when you write it, second time when you direct it, and third time when you're editing that.
Okay.
So it's it's not possible to put like exact thoughts on the screen. But in the previous film that I made, I would say that I managed to put like 80 or 90% of what my thoughts were to the screen. So that was a huge success to put that many percent of what I was thinking. Yeah. But it's always different. It's always different from what you've been imagining. But it's a wonderful feeling that someone can see your vision and see what you've been thinking about, and you can actually make somebody feel something from making a movie, and that's the real power of the cinema emotions.
Okay. How well do you feel in this industry so far?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, how do you feel in this industry so far?
In this industry, I just started actually, to give you some context, I'm in the film studio. Probably I repeated that previously, but maybe if someone skipped, it's been like a 1-year program here in Rome. So I don't yet know this industry very well. I'm sort of fresh, but for sure it's really hard. There are like a lot of people who want your job, and to direct it's really a hard thing to find money to do that. Most of the films are not made because there's not enough money, not enough room for everyone. It's not like we have like not too much directors, everyone needs to be the director. No, I mean, like it's besides maybe some technical roles like on the set where you care about the lights and stuff, and this is the job that might be lacking. And there are actually people the people who are really good at that are in the minority, so it's quite hard to find a great professional people to do stuff like sound, lighting, and others on sets. But basically about creative jobs, it's really hard. It's really hard because you need to always sell yourself, like give 100% on every opportunity that you see, and still you might not succeed in like 20 or 30 years, and some directors make their first or real movies when they're 50, so I don't want to say I'm prepared for that. I would like to make my feature film maybe in like 5 or 8 years, but yeah, it's really hard, and it's a really hard industry. It's you need to really love it and have a lot of passion to do that, because there are like, this is like really long working hours. Sometimes you work for like 14 hours for like 40 days straight without a break, and then you have a period where you don't work. So it's definitely not for people who like to just have 9 to 5 and these 8 hours, and then I'm going to my family and I have my time after my job is ended, and I don't need to worry about anything, for sure not. So so it is a hard industry.
Okay, your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? I have actually a list of my favorite movies. I don't know if I can name one.
Okay.
I would prefer not to.
Okay. What films would you like to make in the future?
For sure, I love drama, and I think this is the type of cinema I would like to make. In one sentence, I would like to make films that you think about for a long period of time after you've seen it, and I don't want to make films which are with happy endings and oh my god, it's such a nice story. Actually, my second film that I just made is with happy ending. It's probably gonna be one of the few films that I made with a happy ending. I would like to make films that actually make you think, make you reflect on something that you've seen. I wouldn't like to make films that are just here for the pleasure and you feel like, oh, it's been nice to see that, like some new Marvel movie or some films that are just made for the entertainment, which sell pretty crazy, and this is wonderful thing if you want to make money, but I would say I want to make films that actually make impact on people and that make you think after you watch the movie for like 1-2 days. You are just sitting there and it comes back to you. So this is the type of cinema I would like to make.
That's great. Okay, what motivates you to work hard?
What motivates me to work hard? I would say that I'm always giving 100% of what I'm putting my energy in, whatever it is. I'm always trying to give like 100% of me. But what is the motivation behind that? I feel like it's a wonderful opportunity that I have right now in Rome, being in Rome and studying filmmaking, and that I'm sort of granted to be in that place, to be able to make movies. I know that it is a dream of many, and also it was a dream of mine. So I feel very fortunate. There's a police passing, so
yeah, sure.
I hope they won't confiscate our camera. But back to okay, that's great. Back to what I was talking about. It's I think the feeling of where I am and what opportunity it is to actually be a filmmaker, and I know that it's really hard. So like this is also the thing that in my opinion makes me work really hard and motivates me, because I know how much it takes and how much money I need, how much I need to put inside to actually get a little bit back. So by just knowing how much it takes to make a second movie, I know that I need to work really hard to make anything in this industry. So I would say the fact of how hard it is in general motivates me a lot.
What is your motto?
My motto? Mentor and be mentored.
Okay, I like it. Okay, what does being fulfilled mean to you?
Being able to find this moment of peace where everything stops and you're able to be just with yourself, be present, be in this very moment, with hearing every sound around, with feeling every part of your body, and feeling that you made it.
Okay. Are you working while studying?
Yes, besides studying, I'm also a founder and team leader of Your Path Academy, where together with my team, I mentor students and prepare them for the application process towards best universities, also taking care of their projects and educational life throughout whole high school.
Okay, that's great. And do you associate your future with this job? Or is it just a cash flow for now?
For sure, I love to do that, and I actually thought, oh, would I mentor people when I'm 45 or 50 years old? And for sure I want to be associated with education somehow. It's a thing that's really thrilling for me besides film. So yeah, for sure, this is not only the thing for me to make money, it's also my second passion.
Okay. What is your best advice for anyone seeking to study abroad?
You have enough time usually, but start now, especially if you're thinking about the US.
Okay.
And I would say that provide yourself with many options. Don't just focus on one single or NYU or Harvard. Just apply to many places.
Yeah. What are the most important qualities for the universities abroad?
I would answer this question at the example of US application, and this is the most complicated and holistic one. And we need to separate this for two cases, whether you're in A levels, IB, etc., and you probably know all of that, or whether you're in normal like Polish Matura high school. So basically, if you are not in IB class, International Baccalaureate, you need to write SATs, which is like American Matura, I can say so, and also TOEFL or IELTS. So these two exams, and besides that, you need to be exceptional enough and do exceptional project to the extent that you somehow stand out of 50,000 applications. So what we do with the students and what we make them think is actually thinking of how I can put myself in at this table of Harvard, Stanford, Yale, and how do I want to present myself. So basically it's about the project activities and what do you present with your person.
Okay. What did you want to be when you were small?
I didn't have one specific thing, sort of like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, but I remember I always wanted to have my own business.
Okay. And do you enjoy your student life?
I don't actually have a lot of time to spend with students and basically with people, because I remembered in the first semester many people were like, hey Konrad, let's hang out, let's go there and there, and my usual day looked like I'm coming from the school at like 4 or 5 p.m. I have like 15 minutes of break, sometimes 2 minutes of break, and I'm working 5 hours straight on calls, mentoring and teaching other students, and then like managing company until like 1 a.m. and doing all the bookkeeping and stuff. So I don't have time for it.
Okay, so what is the best tip to balance social life and studies?
I don't have one.
Okay. Best memory so far?
For sure, being on my second set and being able to be with all these wonderful people that's been working for my project, for my vision. That was so far the best 4 days in Rome.
Okay. If there's one thing you would like to change in your life, what would it be?
I would like to organize myself in a way that I have more time for myself and to have a bit more time to spend with people that matter to me the most.
What time of the day do you feel the most energetic, and what do you usually do in those moments?
I feel most energetic and productive between 11 a.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. Depends, of course, on the time I wake up. And I usually try to do the most important things that I have for these days in this time period of like 10 hours. So yeah, it's usually working. Okay.
What is your favorite way of spending time in Rome? How do you distress yourself?
So it depends whether I go biking or walking around the city. It's a really lovely, calm city, and because of my studies and my work, I spend a lot of time in front of the screen with the electricity, so sometimes I just like to switch off everything, don't take my phone with me. Sometimes I need to, because I need to unlock the electric bike, and just wander around Rome, which is a beautiful thing to do. I advise you to do that if you're in Rome. And the other thing that I sometimes do when I don't have the power to go outside, I just sit in my garden with a little cup of tea, maybe sometimes a cigarette, and I just have my moment of peace there.
Okay. What about the living cost?
I would say it depends on your living expectations as well as where you live in Rome. But if you are coming here to study and looking for the cheapest possible lifestyle, I would say you still need to expect around 700 euros per month. maybe you can go slightly lower, but let's say 350 for the room and 350 for the other expenses. But on average, I would say students spend around 900 to 1,000 euros per month, everything included.
Okay. And the cost of attending your film studio?
It's around 16,000 euros per year.
Is there university housing?
No, we don't have one, but I think that our school is organizing something around that.
Is financial aid available?
I'm working as an equipment manager for the school, which was a wonderful opportunity for me to actually attend the studio, as I by any means wouldn't have the 16,000 euros to attend the school.
Okay.
And because of the position of equipment manager that I have and taking care of the equipment in school, my tuition was significantly lower to around 6,000 euros per year.
Okay, that's great. How often do you see your family?
Quite often, since the tickets were really cheap during the COVID. I used to fly for like 22 euros back and forth to Poland, so sometimes I used to fly once in 2 weeks to see my family and my brother. So this year I would say I saw my family a lot because I really miss them.
Okay. Did you get used to living on your own?
Yes, I would say so. I still miss my family. I miss my younger brother. But yeah, I mean, like, you definitely get used to that, especially if you're working.
Okay. What are some of your long-term goals?
For sure, directing a feature movie. And hopefully someday owning my own school.
Oh, okay. If you could have lunch with one person, alive or dead, who would it be?
I would say Carl Jung.
Okay. If there is someone who hesitates and is still thinking about whether to study directing, what is your advice to help them make a decision?
I would say experiment. Try to put yourself on any set. Get to know people who are working in the industry. This industry is really willing to give you advice. There are many people who are saying things and saying a lot of great things. There are not a lot of people willing to give you a job if you don't have any experience, but for sure you can meet a lot of wonderful people on your way who are able to support you and willing to support you. So I would say go out and try to experiment, try to find yourself somewhere closer to the film and see how it works, see how you can direct even a short movie. There are plenty of possibilities. You can direct with your iPhone and shoot something simple. Just put yourself there and try to do stuff, and you actually learn a lot by doing so. I would say try to put yourself somehow closer to the industry.
Okay. If you had to choose a song to describe your experience here in Rome, what would it be?
Fly Me to the Moon by Bobby Womack.
Okay. And to end our interview, would you like to tell me a joke you know by heart?
Okay, so some scrimpy Scottish mother tells to her, or says to her son, darling, please take off your glasses if you're not looking at anything. Okay, thank you for an amazing day. Thank you.